What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Adventures of Zach. So upon request from a YouTuber, this is something that I left out in my EVAP video. I didn't really realize until it was requested. At least to clarify what I mean by when I say pinning out the plugs. So as you can see, there's no EVAP system on my bike. Opens up all of that space. All that space is nice and clear and clean and open and so forth, and it looks just as good on the other side, especially up here. On this side you got the radiator, but on the other side is where the purge solenoid is. It's nice and clean there, looks good, looks great. So there's a plug that's on your EVAP canister itself, okay? And what I did with that, as you can tell, you can't really see it, but what I did, get the lighting good, is right here, okay? Right here are my cables that were on the EVAP canister. And this is the plug, and as you can see, I got it cleaned up, tied up nice and neat up in there. So from this angle, you can't even see it. Everything's taped up. What we'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll break that free, and I'll show you guys what I did with the plug. So, yeah, my cutters. These cutters are perfect for any motorcycle toolkit because they're great for zip ties and anything really small. I don't honestly know what these things are, what they're called, but they're awesome. All right, so that's cut free. What I'll do is I'll pull this down. Okay, so here's the plug, and what we'll do, what we'll go ahead and do is I'll take this tape off. Just bear with me for a minute. This is honestly gonna probably take me a minute, but I wanted to show you guys what it looked like, you know, how I put it up there. Kind of also show you how I taped it up. I kind of overly do everything when it comes to, you know, if I'm taping up a plug like this, I taped it up pretty crazily, but better to be safe than sorry. Here we go. I knew it was there somewhere. I kept seeing the lines, but it's weird. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and take the tape off. Damn, I taped the hell out of it. I really did. Cut this at the trunk right here, and we'll retape that when it's all said and done. Nice and clean. So this is the one plug. This is what was on the EVAP canister itself, okay? Surprisingly, literally all you do to pin this out, as you can see, there's the two little plugs. You can see where, you know, you can sandwich in between them. What I did is, this is literally a paper clip. Cut at the length. You know, if you got the right size paper clip, the right size gauge, you don't have to do this step that I'll explain. I didn't have to do it because my paper clip was, you know, the perfect gauge. But if your paper clip is a little too thick, if it's one of the thicker ones, you can literally squish it down with some pliers, tap it a little bit with a hammer on the tips to flatten them out a little, and then obviously, as you can see inside your clip right there, where you want to place the paper clip, and just cut it the length to where it's, you know, and you just slide these into the plugs, like so. And then you literally just cut it the length so it doesn't stick out too far, and then now that's pinned out. That's all you do with that. I don't think I need to show you guys this part, but I will anyways. So, step from there is literally just take some tape. You know, I do it in a couple different sections. Again, because I like to kind of have it somewhat watertight, so I know if I need to, or if it's going to go underwater, you know, it's not going to get filled up with water. I don't know what kind of effects that would have on this. I don't know precisely what this plug is for, but again, this is the plug that was on the EVAP canister. And what I'll do now is just the same thing that I did earlier. Again, so I made that flat, flush, so it's not sticking out. You don't have to, you don't want it to where it's sticking out too far to where you have to fold it over, because then you take the chances of it breaking off in there. And I guess you could cut the plug off if you wanted to and probably put the wires together. I did it this way because this doesn't weigh anything. For one, you're not going to shave any weight by taking this plug off. And for two, it's easy enough to take this paper clip out. So all I'll do from here is now do what I did earlier. Take a couple pieces of tape, fold it over, and yeah, tape it up, and that's what your final product will look like. So it's nicely taped up, it's nice and clean. It's pretty much flush with the front of the face of the plug. And then all we're gonna do is place this back up in here like I did earlier. I'll put a zip tie up here again, keep it up and out of the way, and as you can tell, it's nice and clean. I'll show you guys the other side as well. So again, we just put a zip tie right up here, like so. Kind of at the base of the plug, like that. And then cut it, and that's good to go. All right, so this is the other side. This is I'll say your rear brake side. And this one's a little bit harder to see. So you guys see the black zip tie right there on the metal piece of framing? It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but I think you can see it. It's kind of hard to tell by looking forward because you can't see it from the face of the bike. Because from right here, it's actually about here underneath the plastic because I had this section off. I can go ahead and cut that one free too if you'd like, but you can see where the plug is. Your purge solenoid will be, I believe it was right in here somewhere, and it'll have this little plug going into it, which is, again, I believe it's this one right here. It is this one right here. That's the plug. There's a black zip tie, just a little 2-wire. Same exact type of plug that's on the other side that I already showed you. It's the same exact pin out, same exact looking plug. Everything is exactly identical. So all I did there was the exact same thing. I took a paper clip, I cut it to length, made it into a U, stuffed it in the plug, taped it up the same way I showed you guys on the other one, and then I just zip tied it up to that section right there. And again, you can't even see that it's there, but that's it. Nice and clean, out of the way. And again, if you watch my EVAP canister removal video, you'll see, I'll show you the before and after photos, but you can see, look at the difference on the bike. It's a big difference. All the stuff that's right here above the head is gone. That's where all the additional hoses were. The purge solenoid, all that clutter that was originally there, as you can tell now, is gone. Looks good. It looks really good with it like that. So they claim that the 2017 and up will throw a check engine light by removing it if you don't pin out the plugs. They don't actually say it'll throw a check engine light if you don't pin out the plugs. People say that it throws a check engine light on the 2017s and up if you just remove it in general. And I think it's because they didn't know exactly what to do with removing it. So if you remove it and you don't pin those two plugs out, I don't know if it will throw a check engine light. I didn't test it, but I have ridden probably, oh man, probably 500 miles at least since I've removed the EVAP system off this bike, and no check engine light, no issues, no problem. The only thing, just so you guys know, so the EVAP system in short terms, I'm not a scientist, or I'm not a master at what it is or anything like that, but what I do believe it is in short terms is that it's recirculation for the gas fumes to help burn off the unburnt gasoline fumes, because our gas tanks don't vent to the, like if you notice a lot of dirt bikes and things of that nature have a tube that comes out the gas cap, it vents into the atmosphere. They don't have all that EVAP junk. Well, for this to be road legal, they put the coal canister on there like they do, or EVAP canister on there like they do all automobiles and everything like that, or road worthy vehicles, whether it be motorcycles and bikes, Dualsports, to burn off that additional unburnt fuel, so it recirculates back into the head and everything like that, to burn off that additional fumes so it doesn't enter the atmosphere. When you do this mod, you will smell gasoline vapor ever so slightly, depending on your scenario. If you're riding it up and down the street, you probably won't. If you're back riding it in the woods like I do a lot of times, most of my times, you know, you're bumping around and all that. Because when you do this, you're in turns. Now you're just making your gasoline vent line, which if you watch my video again, I show all of that. And you don't have to purchase anything to do this removal. Everything can be used and can be done completely free with what's on the bike. But you're essentially venting the gasoline, the gas tank, the gas vapors to the atmosphere. So it's normal to smell the slight gasoline fumes. And I think you smell it more often sometimes when you're back in the woods because your bike is sloshing around, your tank is sloshing around, you're going up and down and hitting bumps and things like that, and you're tilting the bike left and right. So when you come to a stop after ripping for 25, 35 minutes and you come to a stop and you shut your bike off and you sit there for a moment, you might smell, or not exhaust, but gasoline fumes, like raw gas fumes. Perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with that. So, but other than that, though, guys, that's it. That's how you pin out those two plugs. That was just a few things that I missed when I did the review. I apologize for that. If you guys got any other questions on it, just let me know. Leave it in the comments section below. Like, subscribe. With all this crap that's going on right now, I'm going to be doing some gear reviews and some additional bike reviews. As you can see, what's missing on the bike. What is missing? Yeah. All the stuff's down here. So update on that to come. But yeah, I'm gonna do some reviews on some things that I've done to the bike, some mods, you know, mods that don't cost you guys $1. The EVAP removal was one of them. But other than that though, yeah, stay tuned guys. Adventure Zach is out. Peace.